On the line, some of the most talented riders in the country. It's the 125 main event. Now, this is the proving ground for young professional motocrossers aspiring to be full-fledged factory riders. The country is divided into two regions, East and West, for Supercross purposes. In earlier ESPN shows, we watched the Western region going at it. This is the first race for those riders in the East. And the 125 class is underway, and for at least one rider, it's just about over. It's rider number 36, Mike Jones. Just 1 year ago, Jones finished second overall in the Eastern point standing. He's going to have a rough way to go and a long way to go to make up for that loss in points this year. Meanwhile, your leader is rider number 22 out of Hesperia, California. He's aboard a Suzuki, Ty Davis. Number 45 is Damon Bradshaw. Bradshaw has to be considered one of the three race favorites. Bradshaw gets sideways coming off that jump and goes down. Now he's quickly up and picking up his bike, but he is going to lose ground. Let's look at that again. There's Bradshaw. He tries to turn in midair. He comes down off balance. He may have saved it had he not collided with that Kawasaki. That is going to hurt Bradshaw's drive toward the 125cc championship. Earlier in the year, on other ESPN shows that we have shown you, you have seen Bradshaw riding while the 125s were competing in the Western divisions. You've seen Bradshaw aboard a 250. He had made quite a name for himself, this youngster from Charlotte, North Carolina. He has got his work cut out for him today. Here he is. He's underway at the back of the pack. Bradshaw picked himself up. He was dead last. Let's see what he's made of. Meanwhile, Suzuki rider Ty Davis, rider number 22 from Hesperia, California, has nothing in front of him but the empty Joe Robbie track. He took the hole shot coming out of the first corner, and he's never looked back. He's putting a tremendous amount of distance between himself and rider number 360, that's Denny Stevenson, from Omaha, Nebraska. Davis, meanwhile, has mastered this tough sand Joe Robbie Stadium track. Stevenson, holding down the number 2 position, has company now. Chris Coleman. Coleman aboard a Kawasaki. Rider number 554 has come from out of the pack to make his presence felt. Earlier this evening, Coleman had made the statement that being from upstate New York, that sand was unfamiliar to him. Now, what he meant was he had never ridden on a track made entirely of sand. Look at this. Around the outside, he's at home now. He got a good drive on the outside of Denny Stevenson, but Stevenson took Coleman all the way to the edge of the track, and Coleman had to back off his throttle. Now, if that pass attempt had been made late in the race, I rather doubt that Coleman would have backed out of it. I think he would have tried to bull his way past Stevenson. Both of the riders, second and third place, are aboard Kawasaki's. They are not, however, teammates. Coleman is a privateer from upstate New York, while Stevenson receives help from Kawasaki as a member of the Kawasaki Factory Support Program, Team Green. And now we have our eyes on Damon Bradshaw, rider number 45, and look at Bradshaw slash his way, cutting his way through traffic. On the opening lap, Bradshaw was running about 5th or 6th, and he crashed. He looked to be out of this race. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Bradshaw has worked his way well up inside the top 10, and he is still going strong. Now, earlier we mentioned that Bradshaw had been riding 250. We asked this rising young superstar, what is the difference between the two on a Supercross track?
Well, you got to ride a lot harder just to do anything on a 125. A 250, you got a little bit of forgiving to it. But, you know, my bike's running really good. My mechanic, Mike Chavez, and Yamaha and all the guys at Yamaha helped me get my bike really strong, so I think it should be good.
Good indeed. Whether Bradshaw is aboard a 125 or a 250, there is no question in my mind that he'll handle it. Stay with us. We'll be back with the conclusion of the 125 right after this. Exclusive coverage of the Camel Supercross Series. You're watching the 125 main event. That's young Damon Bradshaw. Bradshaw has fallen again. Damon Bradshaw from Charlotte, North Carolina, aboard a Yamaha. Rider number 45 for the second time today has fallen. Watch the replay. Bradshaw in that left-hand turn just loses it, goes down in the sand. He's all right. He's quickly up. He's back on the racetrack, but he's got his work cut out for him one more time. Now, there's your leader, Ty Davis, rider number 22 on the yellow Suzuki. Davis had been getting signals from his pit area, his mechanic, that Bradshaw was coming. And indeed, Bradshaw had worked well up inside the top 5. Now Bradshaw is chasing in the number 3 position. He's chasing rider number 554, Chris Coleman, who is currently in second. That's the kind of charge that Bradshaw had made. lap and found himself almost dead last. And now look at that. Bradshaw converts a couple of single jumps into one big double, and he takes over the number 2 position. Here it is again. Coleman simply rides through that jump. Bradshaw grabbed a handful of throttle, a lot of air, and he vaulted to the number 2 position. And now he's within striking distance of Ty Davis. Davis has got to be worried, and they've got to be worried in the Suzuki pit. Since the opening round, Davis has circulated this track at his own speed. He's not been challenged for that number 1 spot. He has used the lines that he wants to use on the track. Bradshaw, on the other hand, has had to ride full bore the entire distance. He has tried every line on the track. Bradshaw has the adrenaline flowing. Davis has to pick himself up now by the bootstrap and force himself to try new lines to go faster. An example of what I'm talking about is that double jump where Bradshaw passed Coleman, and here it is. Bradshaw is the only 125cc rider on the track to make that jump. Every other rider is riding through it. There is no question in my mind, with just a couple of laps to go, that if Ty Davis wants to hold down that number 1 spot, he is going to have to attack that double. If he doesn't, Bradshaw will take over that number 1 spot. He'll pass him there just like he passed Chris Coleman just a lap and a half ago. Now Bradshaw is approaching that spot where he fell just a few moments ago. Bradshaw, though, is not even thinking of that crash. It's the furthest thing from his mind. Right now, he can read the writing on Ty Davis' tire. Bradshaw wants this win. He's got the adrenaline flowing, and he's going after it full bore. A right-hand corner, a lap rider in between the two. Bradshaw quickly disposes of that rider and sets his sights once again on Ty Davis. Now comes the double, and Davis rides through it. Bradshaw jumps it. Look at this. Bradshaw double jumps at the end of it, and he vaulted in front of Ty Davis. Here it is. There's the double. Now watch Bradshaw. He's setting up for another huge jump. And that one carried Bradshaw into the number 1 spot. And here he is, less than a lap to go. The man of the hour being chased now by Ty Davis, rider number 22, the man that up until just 1/2 lap ago had led this entire race. Davis out of Hesperia, California, has got to be wondering what he did wrong. Here's that double jump, and it's Davis's first opportunity to see exactly what he did do wrong. And Bradshaw, with a brief wave to the crowd, takes the checkered flag. And here is Davis. He led every lap of this race except the one that counted. Here are the final results of the 125cc main. Bradshaw and Davis, of course, finished in the 1-2 position. Chris Coleman was third. He was followed by Denny Stevenson, and rounding out the top 5, Mike Kwiatkowski from Team Honda. A look at 6th through 10th shows Derek Rowe in the number 6 position. He's followed by, in 7th, Stevie Childress. 8th place, Bill Wallen. Then comes Barry Carson and Brian Carroll. Let's go to Gary Bailey, who was with Bradshaw.
Damon, no doubt, an excellent ride. 2 fall downs. I mean, what else could go wrong for you?
Well, I don't know. I'm glad my bike was running really good. After I got up that second time, I said, I don't know if I have a chance. I ain't got a couple laps left. But I got up and my adrenaline was just flowing so good that I had my mind on Ty, and it really worked for me tonight. Everything went good. It couldn't win any better. I like the win with dirt on my number plate. It makes me feel a lot better.
Great. Excellent ride.
Well, thanks a lot, Gary.
Next on ESPN, the 250 Supercross main event. Stay with us. We'll be right back.